Well, good morning, fisher people. I'm Alan Norris from FishOn TV, and it's Sunday, the 16th of May. And as some of you might have guessed, I'm fishing an open match today, but it's an open match at Woodhouse, Grange, on the Heron Pond. I think I actually called it Laurels at Woodlands. I don't know why. Laurels is at Lindale, but it's the Heron Pond at Woodhouse Grange for the open match, with a little bit of a twist to it. It's also my second round for the Supercup. The Supercup is organised by Steve from the Fishing Association. It's a brand new match. It's completely different to the way that a normal big matches are. It's not sort of a one round to qualify for a final, and then you're in a big final and you're fishing against, say, 100 anglers like the Golden Reel and the Maiden Match this is. No, the way that they've set this one out is it's split into regions. I can't remember how many regions it is. I think it's 10 or 12, something like that. And you have got to win 6 rounds, fishing against one person in each round. Now, when the numbers come out, you've got a number on your name's on a number. I think my number is number 1. I can't remember what my opponent's number was, but I was drawn out as the home venue, so I get to pick where we go to fish. As you know, I haven't really got a home venue because we probably fish the similar fisheries about 5 times a year, each fishery, maybe 6. So I haven't really got a home venue, but I am familiar with Woodhouse Grange, as you all know. But we don't fish heron all the time. I've probably fished heron maybe 6 times, 7 times in total. But I had to pick it, and this is where I've picked. And my partner, the guy I'm fishing against, is Lee Scarborough. So I'm meeting him here this morning. We'll have a quick chat with Lee. So yeah, if you win your 6 rounds, fishing against one person. So I am fishing in the match. I'd like to win the match. If you win the match, I'm not going to worry too much about Lee. I'm going to set my stall out to try and win the match. If you win the match, you beat your opponent. That's the way I'm looking at it. So, but the thing is, when you're fishing against one person, it adds a little bit of extra spice. It's like, you know, this morning I feel a little bit more excited than normal. You're fishing, you've only got to beat one person only. But Lee is a competent angler. He's fishes regular at Hayfield Lakes, and he's fished in open matches here. So he's also familiar with this. So there's not really a home advantage. I've had to do the organising, and this is where we've agreed on. So really looking forward to it. So yeah, if we can get through this round and 6 more, if you get to the final, whoever gets to the final is guaranteed £1,000. If you win your 7th match, which is the final, you win £100,000 guaranteed. Wowzers. So well done, Steve from the Fishing Association. I think it's a great concept. That's my personal opinion. I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 other people might not think so. I'm sure there'll be little teething problems to sort out for the next time that you do it, but I wish you all the very best. I think it's a great idea. Anybody who's willing to do this for fishing, I think it's great, because it can only make fishing more prestigious the more money that's involved. So well done, Steve. What a mighty man you are. Well done, son. So yeah, I'm here. We won't be videoing the draw because, as you know, they're all rolling draws. There's no point doing that. I'll see where I get drawn. I understand that the spit is in today, which is like there's a central bit, so there might not be an island chuck today. It's going to be a full lake. If I get drawn on the spit, I've never actually fished down there, so it'll be new territory for me. But from when I spoke to 1 or 2 other guys in our club, they've given me some idea on how to fish it, and it's very similar to what I'd approach the other pegs, but apparently 7 and 8 are quite good pegs on their day. If there are fish there on the day, them 2 pegs take some beating. So that sounds like a decent area, but I wouldn't know. So yeah, I'm hoping we'll both catch plenty of fish. I don't want it to be too close. I'd rather be on my side. But yeah, set my stall out, try and win this match today and see where we go. So really looking forward to it. And we'll see. Well, it's going to be an hour before the draw. I like to get here and get my nets dipped. And I'll have a word with Lee. We'll see what he's got to say and see what he thinks about this new concept of fishing competition. Right, over and out. We shall see you in a jiffy. Right then, folks, just had the draw. I've drawn an area on the lake I've never fished, but apparently it's a flyer, peg 7. And Lee, this is Lee Scarborough, folks, my opponent today.
Hello.
You've drawn peg
17. Not happy.
He's not happy. He thinks I've drawn the peg, and he thinks he's drawn the worst peg. So
up against it.
Yeah, you could be up against it. I've heard it can be a good area. Let's get on to the Fishing Association. Let's see what Lee thinks about it. What do you think of this new concept of?
Good idea. Yeah, good idea. Gives everybody a chance, and then obviously you can fish against some good anglers when they turn up and stuff. Yeah, but very good idea. I reckon, yeah.
So you can come across a good angler, and if they don't draw so well and you draw well, you've a chance of beating catching a nice scalp, I suppose.
Home draw as well, you get to pick your own venue, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a good concept. So I'm looking forward to it, aren't we? It should
definitely
be supposed to be a half decent day, isn't it? So
yep.
Hopefully we'll have a decent match. I do wish you all the best.
Yep.
Not too good a day though.
No.
But at the end of the day, we're fishing against each other. But the main thing is we're in the open, aren't we?
Yep.
So we're both trying to win the match as well. And it's split over 3 lakes actually. There's been quite a few turned up. But both me and Lee are on the Heron Pond, peg 7, peg 17. All the best of luck, Lee.
Good luck, mate.
And we'll see how we get on. See you at the bank.
Good stuff.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Right, folks, we've just started. I'm on peg 7, as you've seen. It's supposed to be a good area. It's supposed to be the flyers. I've got Craig Sutton to my right, but the only trouble is here we've got 7 and 8 in. We can't get any long poles out. I won't be back to you because we have started the match. We can't get long poles out. We're even struggling to get his landing nets because they're crossing each other. But I'm assuming they've put them in because they are good pegs and you've got to have them both in. Craig's just put in first put in, had an 8-pounder. I just bumped out of a little F1 first put in. Basically I'm going to keep it dead simple because I know there's fish in this area anyway from when I fished over there casting here. So it's going to be top 2 and 2. I've got a couple of shallow rigs and it's going to be margins, and there's fish in these margins. I've seen them knocking margins, so I'm expecting a few fish on margins as well. But we'll see how it progresses. It's not very deep here. Simple tactics will be just same as the other day, tapping 4 mils in, fishing 4s and 6s, corn and pellet in your margins, and 4s and 6s for shallow. Got a bomb rod and a method set up as well. You never know, they can work in margins just as well as anything. So that's where we are. Craig's on, oh, I just missed a little bite there. Lee Scarborough's on peg 17. He's not happy with that draw. We've all done all right on that peg in our matches. It's not too bad, but on paper it shouldn't be as good as this. So let's hope we get a few. Right, second fish. 20 minutes or so in. Getting a lot of strong little bites. Not as good a start as I was hoping. Just got to try and work it out, this peg. It's a bit strange. I'm just looking at the camera because it's just been playing up a little bit. I haven't got time to be messing with it. I'm trying to get these fishies out. Craig's catching 1 or 2 at the side of me. I've not set my little F1 rigs up, and I've got a feeling with what I've seen so far, because it's supposed to rain today, what I've seen so far, I think we could be getting quite a few shallow here. I might have to take 5 minutes out and get them set up. I'll just see how it goes. Just in front of me there. Let's have a look. I'm getting a lot of tiny little bites. Right there, it's just a right little dink. Didn't seem positive enough to be a proper bite. Maybe just swimming past like that. I think it's just fish swimming past it. Right, dotted right down. Hopefully see every little movement. Typical. Not going under now, camera's running. I'm told to feed fours, and I've just gone for putting a few micros down, because feeding fours earlier didn't seem to be working. I just put a few micros down and I got a response, so probably go back to feeding fours. That's the second lot of micros I've put down. I'll certainly be trying these a lot earlier than I normally would, because I'm pretty sure there'll be fish there most of the day. Right, it doesn't look like it's going to go. Oh, a little tap. Right, here we go. Oh, they're not coming fast and furious, but seem to be pestered with skimmers at the minute. I've had a few little skimmers. I just hooked into this. Better. Bloody thing. Just pulled out on the net, bird's nest. Can't write it, can you? Jumped out at the net and pulled out. Left me a right bird's nest. Aye. Right. It's been quiet and I've just gone shallow. About 4 or 5 flick-overs and I've just got one, so the guy to my left started catching shallow, so I thought I'd give it a go. It has been, I'd say it's a flyer. I wouldn't say it's on fire here. Both Craig and I, the lad at the side of me, we're struggling a little bit. Nice one, so that's a better fish than what I've been getting. Right, let's check my camera because there's something not quite right in it. Right, over and out. And there another 5 minutes or so into another one shallow. With me having nothing last time on the F1 rigs, I've not bothered setting them up and I'm wondering if I'd get them shallow short. This is better than the small F1s that we're getting. do feel under a bit of pressure when you know you've got a decent peg. No point panicking, just got to keep fishing how I know usually catches and just hope they turn up. Better stonefish, about 4 to 5 pound. They're the ones we're after. There we go. There's some reed right where the net is. It's hard to get fishing net. Right, let's get back in. Let's hope we can keep catching 1 or 2 of those. So up to 11 pounds. I don't know how Lee's getting on. Seems to be fishing fairly hard in most pegs. So let's see if I can put a reasonable weight together before the last hour or so, and hopefully fill in these margins. Right, there we go. Another one shallow. It's not prolific with bites, but we keep getting 1 or 2. I've got about £16 on clicker plus this, hopefully. There we go. So I keep feeding a few 4s now and again. Few 6s, and every time I seem to feed a few 6s over at 4s, I seem to get a bite. Not every single time, but it just seems to be, I don't know, it's as if the small pellets are attracting the smaller fish, and then a few bigger ones, the bigger ones clean up. So another 4 or 5 pounder there. That takes me up to like 22, and we've got, that's in 2 hours. It'd be nice to have 22 after 1 hour, but we haven't. Like I say, I've never fished this big peg before. Last time everything was on the deck, and I'm getting a few shallow today. On the deck seems funny, I seem to be getting bitted out like little skimmers and things. I've seen a few margins moved. I've had a quick look in there. I lost one from the margins. Like I say, I am tempted to win the margins a bit earlier than normal. I do think they'll feed. Ooh. I can't put my 13 metre pole up, or 14 metres, there's not enough room. Me and Craig's sharing, so it's impossible for us to strip anything back. We've just made enough room for us landing nets. But I'm only fishing there. It's as far as I can really go. And like I say, it's not prolific, but it is putting a few pound in my net. Like I say, if I can have a surge at the end, that'd be nice. A little bit heavy-handed, that one. Overcompensated for the wind. Light pellets, they tend to go all over a little bit. You see, I'm sure if I'd have had an F1 shallow rig on, I'd have had that. That was an F1 or a skimmer or something. This wind's getting up a little bit now, which I don't mind actually, as long as I don't get too strong. Hopefully the ripple hides the wafting of the pole as much. not been going crazy feeding like proper summer shallow fishing. I've been pretty selective. Craig's just had a nice one there. So when I've been doing the 4 mils, I've put maybe 15 or 20 in, and the 6 mils I only do half a dozen or so. Hopefully try and pick a few of the bigger fish out. That's my theory, could be wrong, but that's how I'm fishing it. Right, let me crack on. No more bites on the shallow rig. I've just got my mug in again. I noticed there were 1 or 2 a little bit further out. I've got a 5-foot lash on, so what I ended up doing, I've just flicked it about, and then I had a nice instant take about the 5th flick, 4th or 5th flick, just moving around. I've seen 1 or 2 moving about. It's about a foot deep, this. I don't think it's fishing easy. I have no idea how Lee's getting on. It'd be nice to be able to see him. I've got my back to him, so I have no idea whether he's doing alright or not. Oh, you bugger. Nobody likes to see that. That's 2, 3. 3 I've had to do that. Just pull out with you, ready for netting him. Damn it. Nothing more shallow. I lost another one mugging. So I've lost 4 so far today. I'm not too worried about that. They're decent size F1s, but you can lose F1s no problem. But I'm still on £22. I've noticed Lee's had a couple when I've turned round to swap my rigs. I'm just back in front. I've tried to have a look in the margins. I've nothing in the margin. I've refed the margins. Craig outside of me, he's just had 2 on his short line, albeit one of them foul hooked. But they all count. I've just not had any bites. Oh, I had a little indication there. I've just not had any bites for about an hour and a half, and neither has Craig until these last 2 fish that he's just had. But it's not going to plan. I thought we'd be having more fish than this, to be honest with you, and there's nobody catching over there neither. There's a guy to my left that's been fishing shallow all day. He's kept catching 1 or 2. But he's packed that in now. I've just got to hope that I get a visit in the margins. I know that's where Craig's been catching 1 or 2, and I've turned around, he's definitely been catching 1 or 2 margin fish, so I'm assuming they're a decent size. How many he's got, I don't know, because I've got my back to him. But it's been tough. It's been a tough day. A lot of people have been saying they've not been getting bites. Like you say, these are supposed to be like 2 favoured pegs, and they win a lot of matches, these pegs. But it's not happening for me at all. I'll just have to hope I get a nice visit in the margins. I've flicked the method feeder to these reeds to my right, next to the reeds. And no signs whatsoever on that. I've tried the bomb over my shallow line, I've had no signs on that. It's just moving. It's not been easy. That's your update. Not a very good update for me. I really do need some fish. Could have done with those 4. I'm sure those 4 I've lost would have put me in with a right shout, but it's going to be close, I think, this. But having said that, I don't know, he might have been bagging all day, Lee. But it's just not happening at all. So this short line, I've just put a little bit of extra bait down on this short line, not too much. Just hoping we might get a 1 or 2 carp turn up. I mean, they did turn up the last time we came short and in the margins at the end, and I put about £25 together. I could do with that happening again today. So there's about an hour and a half to go, an hour and 20 minutes. Struggling. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, that's your update. Well, I've been
really and I've had no bites in margin until now. First bite. Only about 15 minutes to go. Craig excited me. He's been getting 1 or 2 in his margins, but all I've had is 2 rudd. 7 to 9 dead reds on corn, and I just keep getting the taps. This is the first one I've had on corn. Not a big margin fish, not like the one that Craig's getting inside of me. These some belters. I don't know how don't know how anybody else is getting on. There's 1 or 2 fish coming from margins. Not sure how Lee's getting on. I know he's been getting 1 or 2, but I think it's going to be close. Yeah, I found it tough today, very tough. How long we got? Oh, 1 minute. That's it then, folks. Right then, folks. I mean, I've not been able to watch Lee at all because he's been behind me. Apparently, he's bagged up on a peg he didn't want, so we'll see what he's got. So well done, Lee. Nice one. Boo for me, eh? Oh dear.
Well, fishy people, I drew a flyer, apparently. Normal circumstances, that is an out and out flyer, and so is peg 8. I didn't show you the peg. There wasn't a lot of time to get ready, but I needed to get ready, so I couldn't really talk you through what I was going to do, so I can let you know what I did. I'm sure some of you people that fish this regular will know whether I've done something wrong or not. I don't think I would have changed too much, apart from maybe gone out longer, but our poles and landing nets were crossing, so we couldn't do that. We had to make do. I think the most I went out was 4 sections, top 2 and 4 sections, where I mugged a few and got a few shallow. Right, my plan of attack was, I know from what I've heard, those margins really produce. So right hand margin, plumbed it up. I think it was about 2 footish, maybe a little bit more. Found a nice little flat area. If I had to be critical about it, it felt like I was landing on maybe some reeds. I went a little bit further out where it was a little bit more solid. There's rocks, it feels a bit rocky there. So I've plumbed up there where I was happy with. I would say I was probably about 8 or 9 inches, 10 inches away from the reeds. If I went into the reeds, you could see I was lifting stuff up. So I've kept away from those deliberately onto something hard. I've fed ground bait, maggots and corn on that line. And in the left, that was the right hand margin. The left hand margin, I have fed micros and 6 mils. I was planning on and ground bait, micros, ground bait and 6 mils. I was planning pellet there, corn and a bunch of dead reds on the right hand margin. Then I've been told, just in front of you, top 2 and 2, or not even that if you don't want to, I'd got about 3.5 foot, maybe 3.5, nearly 3 3/4 feet, maybe nearly 4, in between, sort of that sort of depth. So I've fed 4 mils, fished 4s and 6s, and it was very shaky indeed. It just wasn't happening. Getting a few little taps, which I know I've lifted on every tap because I know that it could be F1s, and you can end up with a load of F1s. I've also set 2 shallow rigs, a mugging rig and a shallow rig. Maybe I should have probably set the F1 rigs up and just kept chucking 4mm and fishing just in front of me. Maybe I should have done that. It's something I was half thinking I probably should have done, but I didn't. I had a bum rod set up and a method. I've had no bites on either of those. Just flicking down to the reeds to my right, bomb over my shallow line where I've been feeding. I've only ended up with just shy of 19 pounds, which is shocking, absolutely shocking. It's probably the worst weight I've ever had on this lake, truth be said. I also, when I was getting I had no bites in the margins. I had 2 rod in my right hand margin that took 8 or 9 dead reds, and I had 1 small F1 in the right hand margin that was foul hooked on corn. Left hand margin 6mm pellets, feeding 6s and micros and ground bait. I didn't do overkill. I kept feeding them gently pretty much all day to bring them in. That's what I was told to do. They will come in, they said. It's just not happened. I've not had a bite in the left hand margin. Oh sorry, I tell a lie, I did have one. I had 1 bite hooked into that early dose. My plan was to go into the margins quite early and stick it out, because from the experience I had on Tuesday, I thought margins was the way to go, and it was, but not for me. I had a spare peg to my left, which I plumbed up, went over to the left. I had 1 F1 out of that margin. Maybe I should have concentrated on that one a little bit more, don't know, but I was told just down there left and right is where to go. But it's been an abysmal day. I've caught most of my fish shallow that I caught. I've lost 4 or 5 fish. Decent size F1s. I wouldn't say any of them were carp. I'm not too worried about the fact that they fell off. I was never going to win with that. I think, ignore me saying I think it might be close. Every time I look round, Lee wasn't catching. I think I saw him catch 2, but apparently he has emptied it. He reckoned he had about 95 pounds. He didn't like the peg, but I was told earlier, it fished okay in our Tuesday match, not brilliant. I was told earlier by Craig, he said that peg produced 80 pounds in the last open match. So not a bad area, and he had some lovely margins down there and quite a lot of room as well. I'd got a match opposite me and then cross over. Why that peg hasn't performed, either I've done something wrong, I don't think I have. I thought I fished it tidy enough. It's just not happened. What else can I say? But that's a mighty effort from Lee Scarborough. I do wish him all the best. He's just packing his nets away. I'm going to have a quick word with him, see what he did actually weigh. But that's he's got to have a chance of winning the match with that. And I said if you win the match, you go through. So rather shocking for me. I do feel rather peed off because I went for a period where I couldn't get a bite for about 2 hours. It was so frustrating. It was ridiculous. But there's always next year, and there's lots of other fishing competitions to have a go at. So let's have a quick chat with Lee. Let's see how he's caught. Well, I know how he's caught, because every time I turn around he was in the margins left and right, and he's persevered in them all day. So that's me. You've seen what I've done. You guys that fish this regular, let me know if I've done something completely wrong, because I would like to know. I don't think I would have changed anything apart from going further out with the shallow rigs, but we was limited with, it would have been impossible. I nearly hit him in the back a couple of times as it was. So Craig at the side of me. So there you go, that's my match. Not very good. A shocking round 2 for me, and a great round 2 for Lee Scarborough. So we'll just see if we can get a quick word before it absolutely starts peeing it down. Right, over and out from me. Right folks, Lee Scarborough, here he is. I did say we're setting a stall to go out and win the match. If you win the match, one of us were going to go through. Well, Lee has actually won the match from peg 17. I've just had a little chat with him about what I did, and I got my tactics right, but it just didn't work. There is one thing that Lee's done today. He's noticed them in the margins. I mentioned that I fancied going in the margins quite early and persevering with them. You've pretty much fished them all day, haven't you?
Yeah, about 11 o'clock or so.
And he's put the dead reds in piled 3 pints.
Yes.
3 pints of dead reds. He's been alternating. You don't know, but I know. But I watched him every time I turn around, either in one margin or the other margin. I did see him land 1 or 2 fish, and I know I mentioned that it might be close because I've not seen him get too many. Forget that, ignore that, I don't know what I'm talking about. So go on, just talk us through him actually. 89 pounds,
Yeah, started short.
What was it exactly? Just so £89?
£89, 8 ounce.
89.5 pounds, so that's a mighty weight today. Talk us through it, Lee.
Started off short pellets, like hard pellets. Noticed there were small left ones. They were getting gudgeon as well at the beginning. After that, I've gone down my margin more or less. I'm noticing it reads, and from then on, I've just never come away, basically.
Dead simple match for Lee there. Rather frustrating for me. I do wish you, well done first of all. I do wish you the very best.
Brilliant.
Lee is today's Supercup and Woodhouse Grange Open match mightiest fisherman, and what a match he's fished today, so well done, Lee.
Thank you very
Wish you
much,
all the
Alan.
best in final.
Brilliant.
Good
Nice
luck.
to meet you, Alan. Brilliant.
Have a good draw.
Thank
Right,
you.
that's over and out from me. Don't forget, folks, it's absolutely free to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button. If you click the notification bell, you will get all our videos as we upload them, and a thumbs up. Come on, Lee.
Thumbs up.
Would be very, very nice. So until next time, I'm fishing with the old boys at Bank End on the West Lake. We'll see you pretty soon. Fish on, guys. See you later.
So,